Army quarterback Bryson Daily from Abernathy, Texas. A great story, and what a year it was for the cadets. Bryson, thanks for your time. What's it like to be in that setting tonight, to be a part of the finalists for the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award?
Yeah, first off, thank you guys for having me on. Always a pleasure talking to y'all. This is an absolute honor getting to, share this opportunity with some really good players. Kevin Jennings just walked by, great player, watched him in the playoffs. So just getting to be, mentioned with guys like that is pretty special. And then Earl Campbell, I grew up a Texas fan, so was a big fan of his. So it's just an absolute great opportunity, and I'm honored.
Bryson, could you bring all of Abernathy with you tonight? Could you fit him in the room?
I think they'd all fit in this room right now. Yes, sir.
You burst on the scene this year. What was it like for the world to see what it's like when something comes together for that Army football team?
Yeah, it was extremely special. And like you said, it just all came together. A combination of, first year offense coordinator coach, Cody Worley, he's my quarterback's coach the whole time I've been here. Him coming in and just being awesome all year long. Coach Woody is defensive coordinator. They played great all year. And then just the players that we had, the best O-line in the country, great running backs, great slot backs, guys who blocked their tail off all year. Perfect storm really came together, and I was just extremely grateful to be a part of that.
Bryson, we're in a time with college football right now where there's a lot of questions about, is it national championship or bust, or do bowl games matter, and all of these kind of existential questions. How much did that matter to you and to the team to go out and get a win at the end of the season, win a bowl game, and go off in that fashion?
Yeah, we were a team that was extremely hungry to make it to the postseason. 2 straight years not being able to do so. Going 6-6 those 2 years, not getting to go to a bowl game. We were extremely hungry for postseason play, and we were very lucky to get 2 opportunities with the conference championship game and the bowl game. So in both of those games, extremely fired up to get to play those one last, time with our brothers. So it was awesome that we got to, go to that bowl game, go to that conference championship, and, just get extra games with, the guys around you that you love.
You had a chance to play Notre Dame. They played for the national title. I know that obviously they didn't win. Ohio State did. When you played them, what do you remember about the Irish?
I remember they hit me a lot. Hurt. Those are some of the biggest human I've ever been around. Number 99, that D tackle that sadly was hurt for them in the playoffs. Who knows what would have happened if they'd had him too. But they were an incredible team. Played extremely hard. But it was an awesome experience getting to play those guys, getting to play some of the best. And, it was cool watching them, win games in the playoffs. And, we were rooting for them to win it all. But it was a great opportunity to get to play them.
Bryson, take us through what your next few months look like. I know it's different for guys that play for the military academies. I know that there's sometimes you can do professional sports, sometimes not. What is the path for you right now?
So for me, I'm just getting ready for our infantry basic officer course. I'll commission as officer in May. So, I started working out more like a soldier than a football player, a lot more long distance running and stuff like that. But it's really just, getting the body right from a long season, trying to get into running shape and just get ready for the Army.
Go ahead, Craig.
What does it mean to be the FBS record holder for touchdowns by a quarterback? Is that something that was ever kind of a goal, or when did that come in play for you? And what does it feel like to be at the top of the history books?
I did look at records, at the start of the season, but that was one I never looked at. I'd looked at our team record, which was 17 by Ahmad Bradshaw. So I was mainly looking at records like that, and we're halfway through the season, and I get Ahmad's record at 17, and I was like, well, what's the next one we're looking at? And so it really kind of surprised me that we got there, and it kind of just happened, and that's due to the O-line I had and the guys around me, but it was pretty cool being able to get that.
There is talk in college football about how they could change up the scheduling, how they could maybe play playoff games earlier and not get too much into the NFL postseason because of the number of eyeballs that they get. There has actually been an idea, I don't like it, but you play in the game, Army-Navy to start the year. Would that be blasphemy in some way for the Army and Navy programs?
I think so. That's I don't like that at all, and I'm sure anyone from Navy would say the same thing. That game's meant to be played, in the cold, the end of the year. Both teams are thinking about it all year long. So I hope that doesn't get changed. But I also hope it gets somehow moved to where, playoff selection, stuff like that comes after that game. Because that, both teams are very good this year, and, that could have swayed either way. So I hope that gets changed in the future.
Do you think that the game should be by itself and they shouldn't play any other games that same day?
I do. Yeah, and obviously that's a biased answer. I have more interest in that than maybe some others do, but I think it's deserving of its own day. Whatever needs to happen for college football and the playoffs to happen,
You can you give us really a sense? I don't know if you can unless you've been to the game as a fan or somebody who's been in an academy or a military academy. What is that day like for you to be a part of that, the pageantry, the royalty, and the tradition?
Honestly, the day of the game is not a whole lot different than any other, except for just the built-up pressure, and it's the biggest game of the year. But really, probably the week or two leading up to it is, especially the bye week before that we normally have. We didn't have it this year because of the conference championship, but most years that bye week before is just full of media stuff and, people talking to you and doing stuff at the school. And that's where you kind of, start getting that pressure built, 2 weeks out from the game.
All right, I know you got to go because you have other media obligations, but you're there for the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award. You've mentioned you're from Texas. He's one of the great names ever. I just asked Kevin Jennings, had you ever met Earl Campbell prior to tonight?
I've not. No, sir.
What is it going to mean to you with the legend, Heisman Trophy, multi-MVP in the NFL, and just the man that he is?
It's going to be incredible. Obviously, he's a guy I looked up to. I did a fourth grade project about him, made a poster board, and Tyler Rose. I had all his stats, and I hung it up in my room after. Big fan. So very excited to meet him. A Texas legend. So it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a great night.
You mentioned you're getting back now, getting ready for what your next part of your life is going to be as a cadet. We love you for doing what you do and representing what you represent, being a part of the academy and the military, and helping defend our country, man. We appreciate you so much and what you represent.
Man, appreciate you guys. Thank y'all for the support. Great talking to y'all. Thanks for having me on the show.
Abernathy's Bryson Daily, Army quarterback, with us. He was on with us about 2 months ago when Army was having their great run. We had Brian Newberry, the head coach at Navy, on with us, too. He's one of the finalists for the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award.